All right, welcome everyone. Just giving folks a few minutes to join us. This session will be recorded, so the recording has started. Thank you all for joining us. We will get started soon. Also, in the meantime, if you could take a look at the chat, we will be dropping the link to the evaluation in the chat and really appreciate 2 minutes of your time after our time together, and you can go ahead and take a look at that link, or at the end we will also have a QR code that you'll be able to scan with your phone. Great. So as folks are joining in, I will just go ahead and get started. Thank you and welcome everyone back to our People Development Manager series. My name is Adriana Argueta. I am the Workforce Development Specialist with the Center for Learning and Innovation. And today is Thursday, December 1st. And we have a lot of great information and we're looking forward to discussing that with you. Again, this session is recorded, so if anyone misses any or needs to step out or misses any of the information here, you will be able to review that back. All right. And so for our agenda today, we will be doing some group announcements. If anyone has any announcements that they'd like to share with the group, you are all more than welcome to also. We will have some updates from our last session with Viviana Pinzon, where we had a discussion around the hiring process. We also will have a discussion with our special guest today, Marce Rodriguez, on the onboarding, regarding onboarding. And at the end, we will share a QR code to our SurveyMonkey for this series. So we will get started with some group announcements. I have 2 announcements that I'd like to share, but I'd like to open it up to anyone else before, if anyone has any announcements they'd like to share with this group. And please feel free to unmute yourself and share if you'd like. We also are welcoming comments in the chat.
This is Viva Delgado from HIV Surveillance, and I just want to acknowledge World AIDS Day today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Viva. Thank you so much. If anyone has anything else they'd like to share, please feel free to drop it into the chat. I have 2 events that I'd like to spotlight, and the first is our PhD walking group. We are walking every other Tuesday together around 25 NS and looking to expand that together. That is from 12 to 12:30, and take a look at your PhD calendar. It is there bi-weekly, and so you're more than welcome to join us. Our second event is the end of the year PhD dessert potluck. We would like to celebrate the end of the year with everyone and have some activities planned, like making cards and other little goodie events. So that will be on December 14th from 2 to 4 p.m. At the atrium floor. There is a QR code currently on the screen that you can take a look at with your phone and sign up for any of the sign up sheet for the potluck dessert. And you are more than welcome to reach out for any other questions or concerns to myself, and my email will be provided in the email follow-up. And now I'd like to do a quick update regarding our previous session with the HR Office of Experience and Culture. We had a really great discussion, and I know that there was plenty of questions that were not answered. And I do want to let you know and assure you that those questions have been shared and discussions are being had. So there will be a frequently asked questions, which is in progress. Viviana Pinzon will return from the Office of Experience and Culture in February 2nd, 2023 for one of our manager series coming up. Additionally, she wanted me to share some of the contact information, and thank you everyone for the feedback that we've also received thus far in our evaluations. In order to contact the SFDPH Office of Experience and Culture, we have their email address. There is also a directory, and I was told that you are allowed to reach out to them through Teams if you have any questions that you need some support with. There are also office hours that are being worked on currently. However, during this time where there are current office hours, you can find those at the DPH HR newsletter. And for example, there was a office hours for the Labor Relations Department of HR yesterday. And so we are working on getting that information out to everyone, but the best place to locate that is at the DPH HR newsletter. And then everything that is linked to this PowerPoint will be shared with you as well. So it does include some of those links for those resources. And I want to go ahead and give the stage to Maricé Rodriguez. Thank you so much for your time. Today we'll be discussing the onboarding process particular to PhD. And so Maricé is the operations manager and will be sharing with us today a lot of great updates. Maricé, I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing my screen and please feel free to share yours.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Adriana. And hello, everybody. Let's see. I'm seeing how we can navigate both the Zoom and the Teams at the same time. Give me just a moment here.
Yeah, and I can help with questions. So I will be monitoring the chat for any questions and anything that we don't get to. Again, we will be sure to that as well in our follow-up.
All right, so here we go. So share screen. I'll do this one. This is the one I'm looking at right now. Okay. All right, everyone. So I'm going to start you off at Teams. And most of you know that we have quite a few teams here at DPH in the Teams. And one of the teams that we have created is our DPH operations team. And since the pandemic, we've been trying to put all of our operations forms onto a platform that can be reachable from anywhere, right? And so we chose Teams because it seems to be the most logical and the most used one. And so during that time, we added a new hire docs tab in our team. So you go to DPH operations, general, and then go to the new hire docs. So as you can see, I started this in about November of 2020, trying to get these uploaded and organized for you guys. And we've done a lot of work. And one of the first things I suggest you do when you get here is to order by name. Because right there, you'll get to two of the most important documents that you need to see, or your DocuSign links form, which you can download by going to the three dots, right? Download.
Just
yes.
quickly, we can't see your screen if you're sharing it.
You can't see it? I am sharing it. Huh, that's odd.
Let me.
It's in the green, right? It's supposed to be in the green. All right, let's
see you.
Screen one. You see me.
Spotlight you.
And share. Can you see it now?
Yes, we're looking at Teams, correct?
Okay, perfect. Sorry about that.
You.
All right, so when you get to Teams, you would go to PhD operations, general, and then you would see this this page, which is our posting area for our operations team. And then you would select this tab right here, new hire docs. And the first thing you would do is go to name here and order by name. And you would see these first two documents here that are the ones that would be most helpful, I would think, from any place that you are, is your DocuSign links document, which with the latest update, which was in August, and your PhD onboarding tips document, which is why we're here today to talk about onboarding tips and how to get our PhD onboarding done. And so in the onboarding document, we have tried to put links here, but also if you download this form, you will have a direct link into the new Hire Docs tab. And so that would take you directly into the page I just showed you, and you would have access to all the documents.
Maricé, if
Yes,
folks are looking to access the DPH PhD operations team folder, what would be the best process to get access to it?
I would say download this form and click on this link right here, and it will take you directly into the location right here. You see, can you see that?
Do
It'll take you
people
right
typically
into
have
Teams.
access to the folder itself, the PhD?
If they don't have access, I will get an email directly when they don't have access, and I'll give you access if you're wanting access. So that will happen automatically. You don't have to do anything
Okay,
else.
I will put your email in the chat for.
Yeah. Okay, so let's reopen that one document, and as you can see, it takes you right into the new Hire Docs tab. And I tried to link out all the important documents here, and also kind of walk you through like who needs that document, right? If your new hire is a city employee, well, you go down and see and give some love to each of these documents right here. And don't worry, when you download this document, unfortunately, it doesn't look like hearts. It looks like this, but don't worry, it's not a mistake. It's just that the symbols change depending on what type of platform you're in. So this is desktop Word, and the other Word that we were in over here is online Word. And so each symbol, and I can't make them be the same. I've tried already. But if anybody has any clues on how to do that, that would be great. And so again, and most of you know about our employee information form, which is one of the forms that we use to track all the new hires in PhD. And this is the form itself. And when you download, it'll be clearer, and it'll also have like red lines around the required fields. But we encourage you to fill out as much as possible so that we can start off with an accurate information for the employee. Probably the two most important ones are the emergency contacts, and I always try to encourage people to give more than one, because on one occasion I did have an emergency with a staff person and we could not find the first contact, but we were able to find the second one. And so this is the reason that we have two, in case someone is not around. We also have in the Teams, let me go back to the Teams, close that here. Back into the Teams. There is a guide on how to fill out that form if you want to go through it. It's right here, and it goes into a lot of detail about what every field is for and about. I don't know if you really want to go through all of that. And this is kind of like also a little dictionary to the database that we have to document the staff there. And you're welcome to look at it if you want to. It is available for you to view. However, as you can see, the plethora of documents that we have to fill out when somebody is hired is quite a few, and it can get confusing. So we are trying to streamline. And so one of the things that we are trying to do, oh, I think I closed out my DocuSign, is to create a DocuSign process for that. And so let me just take you into that so you guys can see where we're at. And I'm just going to really show you the background and not actually how the envelope works. And oh, this is beautiful because normally I say to everybody, the hardest thing about the presentation is remembering your password. Let's see if I get my little link. Okay. Here we go. We're in DocuSign. So what we've done, and by we, I want to say the performance improvement team here at operations, including Julia and other staff who are helping, and also our finance staff is helping to test this, is a PhD onboarding forms packet. So as you can see, some of the forms that were mentioned on that page are all in here inside the envelope. We've also put the organizational chart. We've put the DocuSign links document just so that people are aware of it. Our safety handbook, everything in here. And the intention is that the person who is hiring the staff person can send this link out, a power form link, which is right here. There's a URL that you get, right? Just like we do on our power forms for our time off request. That has the hiring manager starts, then the new employee gets the envelope and they fill it out. Whether they have an email for DPH or not, they can start this before they get hired, you know, they come on board. But I do have to put a plug in that the sooner you get their SFDPH email set up, the faster everything else can go, because everything relies on that. Then you won't have to enter the operations team because I will be putting it in automatically there so that either Andrew or I get a notification that the person's coming on board once the envelope completes.
And may I say a
And
quick question? Should all hiring managers have access to the DPH PhD ops folder, or is this for all staff that should request that access?
well, it would be best for hiring managers, but if there's a staff person that is hiring or assisting with hiring,
Mhm.
I've been giving them access. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. And so here are the forms again and how the envelope is set up, and you could see a little bit of the machinations of how DocuSign works. And I just want to show you that in some cases, what we're trying to do is mistake proof the forms, right? So everything in general in yellow here, you could see that there's two people who are filling it out. It's the hiring manager and the employee. And the hiring manager gets a lot of this information on the notification from HR, or as they're working to onboard the person. Like, for example, the DSW ID and the POI are the same thing. So you would enter for the contractor the POI number here. And then the employee pretty much, you know, once you enter their name in the workflow, their name just gets pre-populated. And they can fill out their portions and their emergency contact. And as you can see, if I click on this form, these are required. So it won't let them pass through without filling something out. So instead of us having to urge them to add it, it's a requirement. So they just can't fill it out. One of the things that this is also helps you remind you what things you need to follow up on, like what roster is that employee going to go on? Do you want to check in with HR and make sure that you know the roster that they're going to be placed in? You would put in the date hired as a hiring manager. And then what we do also is try to help you out. Like if you have the official name, you could see here under the data label, if you fill out the official name here, it gets pre-populated in 4 more fields right down here. So that's something that also is helping to mistake proof, right? So, well, the only thing is if you type their name wrong up here, then it will be typed the name will be typed wrong all the way down. But let's say that you notice where over here in the 4th name that you typed it wrong and you fix it, it gets fixed all the way back up. So that's the nice thing about that. So we keep going down, and I know that some of these things we are also putting in here, like, is your new hire an SFDPA employee? And if you say yes, then all these fields get locked down. if it says if, and then if the person who receives it, the employee said, if you are a contractor and you click yes, it has to turn on these fields because they have to sign the form. And all this application is only for contractors. So this is for your ID that you get at 101 Grove. Most city employees already have their IDs issued when they get hired through HR without our assistance. So this is mainly for contractors. So then you keep going, and this is a form right here that is required by HR for all staff. So basically it's about our equipment and facilities, and you go through this as a manager and you write the hiring date and all the work that you did on behalf of the employee. Did you open a ticket to get them a computer? Did they get a computer assigned? What's the tag to the computer? Is it a laptop? If it's a laptop, then you put that in. And the way these work is if I didn't leave them all open because sometimes, you know, they won't get a laptop. They might get a computer or a laptop. So you just click on, check on this and it opens the fields necessary for you to enter. So you're not entering information that's not necessary.
May I say a quick question?
Sure.
Just wanted to clarify that the hiring manager or the staff in charge of the onboarding, are they the ones who are sending these documents to via DocuSign, or is this automatically sent to those staff?
No, so back here where we have the power form, right? So when we talked about that, the link, this link, you will have access to have this link, or I could even put it on the DocuSign links form so that the hiring managers have access to it. And the way it works, as you guys already know, is you just put it in the browser and it takes you to the power form. Yeah, so you will have access to this link, and you as the manager enter here and you start the process and you enter the new employees. You could put their home email even here so that you start this process before they get here, so that you have all this info that you need to be able to get them started here. And so this is, so you will have this either on the DocuSign links form, or if you want to be part of the pilot of doing this process, let me know and I will share the link with you. That's something we can do. The finance team has given me some feedback already, and I'm doing a few updates on the template. And yeah, so we're trying to do a more agile, like this is already active on our production site. So I'm trying to do like we've done with some of our processes, and, you know, start doing it and experimenting with it and work through all the kinks that might show up, you know, on a live process, so that we can get the job done rather than wait for it to be perfect. And then, you know, it never gets done because really perfection is very difficult to achieve. And so,
Meredith, I also saw a checklist there. Is this the PhD onboarding checklist for the hiring manager here?
yes, this is the checklist that everybody uses. It's required by HR. You usually get it in the email when they're notifying you that the person has passed all their you know, exams and all their clinical requirements and their fingerprinting. They usually send you one of these, and they also send you a PPAR, like a baseline PPAR request, right? And so this form comes with that that email, but it'll already be in here for you to process. The PPAR portion will not be, because that would be too complex. But this is also like if it's a new hire that just came on, but they were a recent city employee and they don't have a smart badge. This is for the smart badge form, right? So then again, there's some like conditional requirements here asking you, does the existing employee need a smart badge? And if you say yes, it opens up the fields. And then you take that form over to 101 Grove. And so here's your code of conduct. And let's see, let's go to the next one. And then your confidentiality agreement form. This form is important too, because it goes through a lot of the things on the confidentiality in in a shorter form with the more succinct points, so people are understanding what is really confidential and what data security we have. And I know that they probably signed another one somewhere else, but we always in PhD have people sign this one too. And then you could see that this is for city employees, or if you're a contractor, you select this one and then you sign off.
And
Ah,
Marise, is this supposed to be filled out and submitted at one time, or can it be saved as a draft to work on throughout the week?
yes, the hiring manager can click on finish later, right? So you could fill out part of it, and if you don't have all the information, just like in all of our envelopes, you could hit finish later, and it'll be in your draft folder, in your DocuSign account. That's where it should be. And so once you start it, it should be there for you. Or you can access it through the email that you will get in your email account. It'll take you directly to that folder because it'll have that email access code. And the reason that we put that email access code is so that the DocuSign associates this power form with your name and DocuSign account. If I don't put the access code, sometimes it gets a little tricky and the envelope kind of gets lost. And so it's best to have that access link so that they get connected. Okay. And so then we also put in the organizational chart, because one of the things that happens is that sometimes staff do not know where they live amongst the DPH organizational chart. And one of the things you as a hiring manager could do is just kind of take 2 minutes to organize their mind as to what part of the Department of Public Health do the staff work at. Sometimes I talk to people like who need, for example, they need a DocuSign account, and I ask them, well, what part of the health department do you work for? And they don't know. They don't even know what branch they're in. And I'm like, okay. And then I have to ask them about who's your supervisor, and that's how I figure it out. So also this is the newer PhD organizational chart. And I try to have people sign off on that they've reviewed it, and the DocuSign links form so they know that exists. And we have the employee handbook that was created by the Civic Center Campus Real Estate Division that gives us like information about what to do in emergencies, right? I used to give this out in a red notebook as so people could have it on their desk, but perhaps this is the best way to do it these days. And so,
And
okay.
then Marise, just to get clarity here. So
Mhm.
then the hiring manager needs to complete all their pieces in the DocuSign packet before sending it out to the new staff to complete their parts?
That's correct.
Thank you.
Is there a suggestion not to do that? Is there a reason why people think that should not be done? Because we can, like, if I go back here into the workflow, I can put them together. Well, actually, they're together. So the hiring manager and the employee are working on it together. So the employee's filling out their pieces, and the hiring manager is filling out their pieces. And then in the end, the operations would get the copy of, they receive a copy. So both of them are signing at the same time. And the way we can look at this, let's see if it shows it. Hold on, it shows it. Let's do save and close for a minute and go back to the screen. And go to the template, saving it. So you could see that, okay, right now I'm the sender, but I'm going to change that to our PhD sender account. And then number 20 is the hiring manager and the new employee working on it together. Yeah, I forgot I had done it that way. Yeah. So this is the first presentation on this process because we just got it programmed about, I would say about 10 to 15 days ago. Julie and I were working on it, and we're having Maggie's team try it on a couple of their new hires. And so it's you're getting info fresh off the press there.
Thank you so much, Mariste. There is a question. If there are instructions or training videos on how to use the DocuSign available to send out with the link.
Right now, like I'm saying, this is like something we just started right now. There are no training videos on this one particular process, but it truly is, I think we have some time, so I think I could take you guys through it so you can kind of see. So you would have the actual link. And since we're in a recorded session, perhaps this could be the way we could create a little video by cutting it out here, and we'll just do a little demo. So let's say that I'm the hiring manager. Okay, and I'll put this HM so that I know I'm an HM, and then I'll put my name again. New employee, and the operations team, I'll let that end with Louise D. And since this is not a finished process, we're probably going to run into a few little issues that I need to address, but let's get started. So then they begin sign.
Mariste, really quickly, because I believe that this may already exist, but there's a question around training specifically for DocuSign. If the person is new and has not used it before, if there's any available introductory training on how to use DocuSign before accessing the document.
Yes, and whoever that is, I usually send out when I open a new account for DocuSign. See, notice that there's this finish later here that is very important on any power form that you guys use. This will connect it to your, let you finish it later and connect it to your DocuSign account. What I usually do when people get new DocuSign accounts, I send them 4 video trainings in their email. And that is how people get trained right now. But anybody who wants in-depth training on DocuSign just needs to set up an appointment with me, and I'm happy to do in-depth training with them. Okay, and so here we go. So staff location, let's see, what we tried to do is make it easy for you. I'm just going to use myself so that I don't have to think a lot here. And then what suite am I in? I'm in suite 200. I'm on the 2nd floor of this building. Which branch am I in? Let's see, PhD operations. What unit? So I'm in the operations unit of the and the program is, again, this is PhD operations. It's not the same as how you guys, like in CHEP and others that have specific programs operation. And the room number I am in is, I believe, 203, if I remember correctly. And my immediate supervisor now is Erica. And do I supervise? Am I a supervisor? Yes, I am a supervisor. And so that's what that is there for. So I'll just enter Maricel Rodriguez is my official name at HR. That's what you, as we're in the hiring manager role, so you do not want to like put the nicknames in this official name field. You want to put the name of the person who that is going to be at HR, and then you put their position, title. Sometimes people use a functional title, and sometimes people just put in their classification title, and either is okay at this point. And then you might want to put in their phone numbers. And email, work email. Okay. And let's see, roster. I can't remember the roster. I think it's DC 06. I'm in 060. And my union is local. I'm going to put a drop down box for you guys on the union. Right now it's not there, but I will. I was hired on 4/10/2000. And I work 36 hours a week.
And
So
Mary,
no,
there is a question. If, for example, there's been times someone said I've saved DocuSigns to finish later and then can't find them. Can you please show us how to find them?
of course. All right, let's do that. Let's see if this works. Finish later. That's my email. Save and close. And I'm going to close this and I'm going back to my DocuSign account and I'm going to go to manage. And it should be, let's give it a few minutes, in my draft folder. And load all. Yeah, let's give it a few minutes because I just saved it. Okay, here it is. It is in my inbox, complete PhD onboarding. And I'll click back on sign. And then I'm back in there in the same, and it should have included. Oh, look at that. It did not include everything that I entered. That's not good. This is what a live recorded a session is not supposed to do. But let's see, and I hadn't turned on yet because since it's a process in working, I haven't turned on the access code for the email. So it might, let's go back in. Other actions, finish. Let's go finish later. Should be in drafts, not in the inbox. Hold on one second. Let's log back into DocuSign. It should be in the drafts. But I'm still showing in here as a, let's see. Yeah, so as you can see, I'm just gonna move on because like I told you, this was a, let's see, is this a, oh, see, now I am not in, it's showing, this is what I'm signing right here. This is, let's look at the process. This is the employees process. You could see that this is the employees process because all the manager fields are not there yet. So they're going to fill out their home address. So let's see, hold on, let's go back. It has to be in here. Let me just log out of DocuSign completely. Hold on, I know. Okay, and I'm going to log back in. It might take a few minutes to send it to my draft folder.
And this is
But
the
when,
onboarding process and forms for the city employees and contractors, right?
yes,
On
it's going to combine for both. That's what we're trying to do, to combine it for both so that we can make sure that it becomes a process that is helpful in that way.
And then one of the additional part of that question was for contractors. Just wanted to make sure there are no required fields, questions in the DocuSign that may not be applicable to contractors, so the signing can go through.
Right, that's what I'm trying to do as we're working, stepping through it. And you know, it's not going to be perfect from the get-go. So, but if you're finding a contractor field that is not turned off, okay, let me go back into my email. It's not connected to my email. So again, like I was trying to tell you guys, this is it's not, I didn't turn on the access code, so it's not going to associate it to my account. So there's really, once I turn it off, it should go into the draft, but it's taking a little bit longer than I expected. So let's see if I do this, it's not finding it. In the sent. Here's the new employee, but it's not showing me the manager. It should be in my drafts, but it's not showing up yet for some reason. Well, so it's a challenge because it's quite a few forms and there's quite a few things to do for different people. Like just looking at this POI form, that one is one that we're not going to be able to put in the folder, right? The POI is the person of interest number. It's like the DSW number, and it gives you access to the portal, and it gives you access to many other things. Like we use it for our badges and things like that. And so I'm trying to think of a way that perhaps on the DocuSign, I just collect the fields, and then we can pre-fill them for you and send it out rather than you having to do the Excel sheet. But I'm still brainstorming on that. And most of the fields in here are put in there, like the self-service request form, so that you can get them into the payroll system for the city, at least. I think that Haluna has their own separate process that they make employees do, I think like within 3 days of being hired, so that they can go on to the Utility Pro or the what's the system called? Replicon. So yeah.
Marisol, I apologize. I missed one of the questions. What should we do if a city or contractor or new hire experiences a delay in obtaining a DPH email to have a computer system? Is there a backup workflow that is PDF based, possibly not DocuSign, and does not depend on the new hire email address and new hire DocuSign signing in?
They will not do anything until you have a new, like for example, the other day I was trying to get a computer for somebody, and we can't do anything without the staff person getting an SFDPH email. And I just want to reiterate how important it is. There are things behind, like using SFDPH email, like legally, people communicating for and on behalf of the department. It's, years ago, this became a very big issue. I think that over time we've become lax again, but it's important that everybody use and have an SFDPH email. And especially if you are legally and technically an employee of SFDPH.
Thank you, Marisol. There's an observation in the comments. Hiring managers may want to send the DocuSign envelope to the employee's personal email instead of DPH email. Is this what we were talking about here? Because it looks like the form autofills the employee home email as the one that they begin signing in with.
It's that is an auto email. I should change that to leaving it blank, because that's supposed to be their home email. That's correct. As you like I shared with you, this is a very new and fresh process. And let's see. That is absolutely correct that I should change that, because what it does is pre-populates the email from the power form. Yeah. That is totally incorrect, and I will address that. so I apologize that I didn't turn on the access code, and that the draft is not showing up as quickly as I would like it here in DocuSign. But we originally had not planned, we had a little extra time. We had not planned to show the process, but we had extra time and we could give you a glimpse of what we're working on to improve things. I'll go back here. So let's see, other actions, finish later. This is not the, yeah, let's see. I'm just trying to see if it shows it in the drafts yet. Not yet. It's not showing up in the drafts. And this is the trick with the power forms. It's most important. Like, let's go back to the templates, and I will turn it on right now for the future, so you could see where it is. So the power form is a layer on top of the template, and we go to edit the power form itself, and then there's an option here that says require email validation, and that's how it gets connected to your DocuSign account. And I didn't have that turned on, and that's why it didn't show up in the draft. It should just show up in the draft now. And then, like I said, I would be changing the sender to our PhD Power Form sender account, which that's where all the documents are sent from. And let's go in here very quickly. And since you've already identified that one small issue of having the email pre-populated for the employee, this should not be this. It should actually be a text file, a text field, I'm sorry, for the email for the staff person. And we want to put some validation in there that makes sure it is an email when they finish it, so that they, and so that is corrected. And thank you very much for the person who pointed it out. All right, so are there any other thoughts or ideas around this, or anything else that I can help with? Any questions?
Thank you so much. I do not see any other questions in the chat. I do see one that I may have missed. There was a question about an HM page in drafts, but I believe that was when we were reviewing the DocuSign location for the drafts.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Let's see.
and oh, one more question. When will this officially launch?
Oh, I'm trying to get it done like maybe somewhere around January 15th. And so I'm trying to work as fast as possible to get this so that we can test it out, and open it up to everybody. And one of the things I ask is just that hiring managers, if you find a glitch, you just send me an email, and I'm on top of it. I'll change it just like I did right now, so that we can make it better and better as we use it. Yeah.
Yeah, and if there's any other questions, please feel free to raise your hand or just unmute yourselves. You are receiving a lot of thank yous in the chat.
Okay, everybody. Thank you so much for coming today on a very, very cold and freezing rainy day. I appreciate all of you, and thank you for all the work that you're doing for DPH.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mariste. And it looks like there's plenty of ideas that we also were able to gather here. So we would be more than happy to have you join us back and, work together as this process is definitely receiving a lot of love, and also a lot of great tips are being shared. If you'd like to stop sharing your screen, I'll just go ahead and share for everyone else. We have a few minutes and do want to make sure we have some time to receive some feedback. And again, thank you so much, Marisse, for your time, for your work as well. This is a process that I think will benefit everyone and make the onboarding a lot more smooth for everyone. And then we can definitely update people as we go. So let me go ahead and share real quick the evaluation. If you have your phone, you can feel free to just go ahead and take it on your phone. It's fairly easy to access. I'm going to go ahead and share the screen here. Thank you, everyone. I hope
Thank
you
you.
enjoyed, and we will be seeing you in the new year for our manager series.
Thank you. Take care.